My name is Berkey Belser, and I'm the president of Greenfield Belser.
Hi, and I'm Joe Walsh. I'm a principal and creative director at Greenfield Belser. We usually do this stuff in person, so we're experimenting online. We thank you for coming.
Yeah, this should be fun, and Joe and I will tag team throughout this entire presentation. Just one piece of housekeeping. If you have a question, ask away at any time during this presentation. Don't be shy. So direct your questions to gbmarketing@gbltd.com. So if our ringing phones are any indication, it appears the economy is thawing. Now that some of us are coming out of our ice cave, people are asking, what should we be doing? And as we see here, we think that hope alone is not an effective marketing plan. So people are asking us, what's the best way to spend the limited funds that folks have been granted? What should we do? What's the best thing to do? What should we do going forward? The most significant trend we've noticed during the past year is the rush to digital that's only been accelerated by the Great Recession. It appears, however, there's been a huge shift from offline to online. And as we're talking with folks, several things stand out. First, a fairly significant lack of understanding about all things web. Terms like search engine optimization and search engine marketing commonly misused, although the most honest of our clients will simply say, I have no idea what any of this means. The second thing is a giant free-floating anxiety simply about what to do. Everyone is swept off their feet by the next big thing, and it seems like there's a next big thing every day. It's as if folks are standing on the beach and getting whacked by some tsunami again and again without learning to back up and retreat for some perspective. So hopefully we're going to give you some perspective today that will allow you to make appropriate decisions about how to spend that money. And then third, and this is the one that I'm sure you've experienced, and that is that there remains a healthy skepticism among your leadership that their buyers are actually online. So we hope to address all of these points today and give you the tools to go forth and conquer with confidence. I'm going to address the basic facts of social change for the first part of this presentation, and then Joe and I are going to walk you through the basic steps of digital marketing. So first thing to know is that the challenge of brand definition remains the same. What's changing is that the communication channels and the dialogue that occurs as a result have shifted. It's a new world that we're living in. So we need to adapt to these communication channels, and we're going to look specifically at some of the facts that back this up. In other words, what's changing is how you get found, and then what you do when you get found.
Yeah, and this is a curmudgeon of an executive staring us down here. It's from 1965, by the way, so just to put you in place. And to Berkey's point about the challenge of brand definition being prevalent even today, we have this guy asking us, I don't know who you are, I don't know your company, I don't know your company's product, don't know what your company stands for, don't know your company's customers, record, reputation. Now, what was it you wanted to sell me?
So that's the problem that faces us. Let's look, however, at some of the facts in this changing marketplace that we need to pay attention to. And these we highlighted that we believe are the most important shifts, major, really tectonic shifts that are occurring in the marketplace. One is we know that we live in a highly fragmented market. This was a survey that we did some years ago. Some of you, I believe, have probably seen it, where we asked 500 buyers of legal services, when you think of commercial litigation, what law firms come to mind. And you'll notice down there that first to mind name recognition occurred in only 4% of law firms. These are well-known firms here. These are all law firms, but they're very well-known firms within the legal community. Only 4% top of mind or first to mind name recognition. And when you aggregate the balance, all other top of mind, only 2%. Well, the good news for us is that it's opportunity. The bad news is we live in a fractured market. The good news is that we can do something about it.
And by the way, that opportunity is real in the accounting and the consulting world space. The numbers hold.
The same numbers hold exactly in terms of fragmentation. So there's opportunity, but we've got some challenging facts in front of us, and I'm just going to blow through these pretty quickly and give you some of the sense. I don't know about you guys, but when we go to presentations these days, we're just overwhelmed with statistics, and we're going to overwhelm you a little bit too with some of them, but try to get through to the most important ones. First, by 2010, Gen Y will outnumber boomers, and 96% of these have already joined a social network. Social media, I love this, has overtaken pornography as the #1 activity on the web. 80% of companies use LinkedIn as a primary tool to find employees. I can go on and on. 80% of Twitter users are on mobile devices. Email is fading. You might not know that in 2009, Boston College stopped distributing email addresses to incoming freshmen. So that's a whole method of reaching students that we can no longer use. The second largest search engine is YouTube. There are 2 million blogs, 54% of whom post content or tweet daily. Word of mouth is now almost instant and global. 78, that's a completely random collection of facts, but they add up to really this global change. 78% of consumers trust peer recommendations, only 14% trust ads. So in spite of all of the evidence, many still refuse to believe that the future is now. And we want to, hopefully, as we go through this presentation, let people know and alert people to the fact that we need to turn quickly towards where the future is going, because it's already here.
We'll tell you one quick anecdote. Berkey and I were at a firm in the West Coast, a high-tech pedigree, a player in circles where you'd think tech-savvy nature was just part of the DNA, and very senior people there told us, you know, we don't believe in this new media stuff because our buyers aren't online and paying attention to that stuff.
Well, let's look at this, because the buyers are changing. We've got, if we look at these stats from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you still got some folks that were born before the World War II was over that are in the market, that are still in the workforce, and boomers, of course, dominate. But the most important thing to understand is that you've got Gen X coming up quickly that in decision-making capacities, and millennials, of course, not far behind. So that workforce, the Gen X, really, they were almost nursed on computers, as they really are completely comfortable in that space. Another important fact is that media consumption is changing. It's interesting. Television was introduced really commercially around 1939, but by 1958 it was the dominant form of home entertainment. Now, I know we all still love Lucy, but today 50% of Americans consider their computer an equal option to watching TV. I was at home the other night with my wife and 2 girls. Every one of us was on a laptop doing something completely different, all sitting in the same room. So the TV was off. In terms of your C-level executives, this is the kind of stat that we see that's only growing in favor of the internet. C-level search traditional media, trade publications, magazines, newspapers, TV, and radio, substantially less than they use the internet for business information. So your buyers are online, but the challenge is with 200 million blogs and 100 million websites,